Hi, Golden. Really happy to be here. So my name's Richie. My background is in data science. So I spent more than a decade as a data scientist. And these days I work in education. So my job title is Senior Data Evangelist. So I feel like I should be wearing robes or something. But the idea is just to help people become aware of how data and AI can help them in their careers.
I love that. So you're literally the perfect person to talk to about all the questions I have around this topic.
I hope so.
Super. Okay, well, I would love to know your insight. If a professional wanted their work to still be discoverable and relevant from like 10 years from now, where do you think they should focus today to get there?
Oh man. So things that last 10 years is very difficult in the world of tech. That sort of stuff tends to go out of date pretty quickly. But the stuff that tends to persist in your online biography, it tends to be more academic work. So the things that that work in Google search, they also work with AI as well. So if you are talking about research, if you get featured in a newspaper or something like that, then those are sort of very highly ranked. So all that kind of stuff where publications with some sort of credibility, if they talk about you, then that stuff is going to sort of last forever. If you get yourself a Wikipedia page somehow, then that's going to hang around for a long time. Those sort of stuffs tend to be a bit more long lasting than just, I guess, individual social posts, which are a bit more.
So it sounds like, I mean, get other people talking about you and you'll be good.
I guess like bribe a friend to write about you. That kind of social proof does work very well with things becoming more long-lasting and getting a bit more presence.
I love that. So what's one way AI can act like as a partner rather than a replacement when it comes to someone's career?
Yeah, so I mean, for career use cases, there are loads of them. I mean, I think if you're job hunting, then just having AI brush up your LinkedIn profile page or even any of your other social profile pages, you can make yourself sound a bit more appealing. That's really useful. If you are wanting to interview with someone or even just have a conversation with someone, you can practice it with a bot that doesn't care. You can run it like 20 times. Like if you ask your friend, can I practice this conversation with you? They'll probably let you do it once, but like, the bot, you can do it 20 times so you get it right.
100%.
So yeah, I have to say I didn't use AI to practice the conversation. It's all ad-libbed. So we'll see how this goes.
I mean, I personally use AI as a partner when it comes to just strategy. If I have like multiple ideas, and then I'll go to AI and I'll be like, hey, because it has more information than me, it has more data than me. It can analyze data more. And if I just share like how I'm thinking, even how I'm feeling, I find AI really helps smooth that path on, moving towards whatever that outcome is.
Absolutely. I mean, it's great for coming up with ideas. Like if you want to create content, like sometimes your mind's flowing, you've got so many ideas. Other days, you're like, I got nothing. And in that case, really helpful to just ask your chat GPT or Claude or Gemini or whatever, just like, can you give me some ideas on this topic? And even if the ideas are terrible, just you've not got that blank page anymore. So you can be like, oh, well, that's a stupid idea. I can think of something better than that. And that's going to help get the creative juices flowing.
I love that. I love that a lot. And then I know like you're in the data space, so your perspective is so important right now. And so from the perspective of data and AI, what's the most overlooked collaboration between human expertise and AI tools right now?
Oh man, I mean, there's so much money being thrown into AI. I feel like for anything you want to do, there's already like 6 startups trying to solve the problem. So there's not that much that's being overlooked. I think the one thing that doesn't get talked about as much as it should is the computer vision side of things. So nowadays, if you've got like an image, it's really easy to be like to get a text description of what's in the image. It started working quite well in the last couple of years, and that's really useful. Especially like with if you're creating video or you're making use of photos within your online personal brand, you want like a text description because again, text is a bit more permanent than images. In search engines, they're still a bit old-fashioned in that they tend to weight text higher than just like an image that they don't understand. So having like a transcript of like, this is what is happening in the photo, that works really well.
That's so interesting. And I guess that's a great way to get into like the algorithm and being found is if you optimize your images to have better text. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm saying like if you've got a description of like what's in the photo underneath, you can talk about what's there, and that's kind of almost automatically generatable at the moment.
That's super smart because image right now is kind of the leading when it comes to human participation, like just getting our what's the word? Like our attention is usually images that catch our mind. But I guess for internet and like online, it's text that actually drives it more.
Yeah, so I mean, I think a lot of the algorithms in on the social platforms, if you've got images or video, they do get weighted higher, but you also want like some kind of text description just to help people find stuff. Like if you want to automatically generate the right hashtags for that image, you can do that now.
I like that. Okay, I wanna get to know more about your own online presence. From podcast episodes to articles, how do you see that content shaping the way people understand your own work years from now?
Yeah, absolutely. So the work I'm doing there with the podcast, so I host the Data Framed podcast. I also run the webinar program for Datacamp. So we do lots of educational webinars on data skills, AI skills, and that forms a large chunk of my online presence. So this is this is what I'm going to be remembered for, at least for the next few years. And yeah, it's a brilliant thing because it's like, well, I'm doing something positive for the world. At least I hope so. So yeah, I think having this kind of presence where if you are talking about useful work things, either in webinar format or podcast format, it's a really great way to show up your credibility. And this stuff does seem to be being picked up by all the sort of the search engines being picked up by the large language models. So if you go on a chat GPT and ask who is Richie Cotton, it will tell you about my podcast. It will tell you about my webinars. So that's pretty nice.
I love that. So you are literally discoverable by the AI algorithm.
Yeah. Apparently, I'm in the system now.
Okay, so you're literally planted in the future. I love that. That's such a great digital legacy. I like to call it digital legacy. It's kind of like your footprint right now is already being created for the future.
Yeah, definitely. I guess that's one thing to be mindful of is like anything you post online, it's going to be there in perpetuity, really.
Right. And then everything that you talk about. So your data and AI literacy. And ultimately, that's how AI is going to know you in the future. So, say, for example, you do decide to pivot or expand on your industry, it will have that reference moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure how easy big pivots are going to be because of that, because I think it's often very difficult to shake an existing legacy when it's there for years at a time. People will always know what you've done in the past. And so it does take quite a lot of effort to completely change your online persona.
I love that. It's very true because I know a lot of clients of mine, they come to me and say they are known in a professional field, in a career or position that they have right now, and then say they want to start a huge tech startup. It's kind of like a hard pivot when the internet already knows you as something. And so I guess the skills you need to have or the awareness you need to have is just creating content from podcast episodes, like you mentioned, from articles that shape the way people understand who you are and what you're moving into.
Yeah, actually, one thing I have seen is people just talking a lot about their career pivot. So, I mean, LinkedIn's a great place to do this because it's a natural place for talking about careers. But if you do have a big career shift, you're reskilling into something else, then yeah, just talk about what the change of process involves. Talk about your challenges. Talk about your successes. Talk about how your old skills are now being reapplied in new ways, and that seems to be a pretty successful strategy for making sure people know that you're doing something different.
Yeah, and like just that conversation definitely builds presence online. Even, a lot of people are like, what do I post for content anyway? Like, I don't know what to post. It's like, post about what you're going through, post about the lessons you're learning, the certifications that you have. I know I've done a lot of certifications with Datacamp. You guys have like AI week sometimes, and I just go all in learning about data and just all the information that you guys have on your website. It's super important to learn on the journey of the pivot, I feel.
Absolutely. I mean, the AI space has been moving so fast over the last few years. You just got to keep learning new things in order to keep up. And so, yeah, I'm glad you've taken the advantage of the free weeks we do. Yeah, so every now and then, Datacamp will do a free week. We often have promos as well. So if you want sort of a bit of discount learning, then yeah, you can sign up.
Absolutely. Okay, so I want to know about your biography. If AI wrote your biography, because you're saying you're in the AI algorithm right now, based only on your online footprint, what would you want it to highlight and what would you prefer it to leave out?
So I'd say I'm in a fairly privileged position at the moment that it does mostly talk about my work, which I'm very happy with. There's a lot of like private stuff that I wouldn't necessarily want to go in there. Like Google has access to like decades worth of emails from me, and it's also got its Gemini AI. I'm like, I don't want my private emails being spat into my public bio. So there's definitely like a public-private thing that I like the separation there. Probably like I don't want my shopping habits to be in my public bio. Like, yeah. So there's a lot of dumb stuff that I'm quite happy is separate from that. But yeah, the stuff that I'm proud of, like I've written books, those go in the bio. I have made a lot of courses around data science and AI. Those in the bio. Very happy for those to stay there.
So what are some things that perhaps tech professionals or someone who's transitioning into tech, what do you feel like they need to know about AI and data before even just learning about it?
Oh man. So I think for data, like the big thing is if you can get a feel for data, then it's going to help you make better decisions. And the simplest, like first skill to learn is around data visualization. So there's tons of like charts everywhere at work, even like on the news, they're always showing charts of things. Just as long as you can understand plots, how stuff changes over time, what the most popular thing is, like with bar plots and line plots. So this is just a really simple skill to learn. It's valuable in life as well as everything. And for AI, I think like, yeah, again, it's evading everything. Even if you don't consider yourself to be a tech person, you're going to have to make use of it. And here, the easiest skill to learn is prompt engineering. Like being able to write a good prompt that gives you an answer that you want. That is just, it's relatively easy to learn, and it's just going to serve you well for many, many years.
I have a thought that popped up with prompt engineering. So I was told in my AI certification that AI speaks in numbers. It's like more so like a calculator than an actual thinking entity. So it's just filled with data and knowledge of data that it is more of a probable outcome that it puts out. Is that true?
Absolutely, yeah. So with all these chatbots, they're not really thinking. They're really just like really, really fancy autocomplete, same as we've had on on our phones for sort of decades. It just works in sort of more than just being able to predict one word ahead. You can predict hundreds or thousands of words ahead. So yeah, it's giving you the most likely outcome given what you ask. So it's a probabilistic thing. Yeah.
That's really good to know, because I know a lot of people are complaining about how when they prompt something with AI, it doesn't give them what they want. So it's actually not the AI not giving them what they want. They just need to learn that basic prompt engineering so it can have that interaction and healthy partnership.
Absolutely. And to be fair, it's not always just a bad prompt. Sometimes the AI will just return absolute nonsense, like regardless of what you say. So yeah, it doesn't always work, but a lot of the time it does, and it works often enough to be useful in many situations.
So, in your experience, what are some practical ways professionals and people who are stepping in this industry, how can they use AI to cut down repetitive work and focus more on the creative or strategic parts of their role?
This is great. So the biggest tech story of this year, I think, has been AI agents. And the idea behind these is like you want AI to be able to do stuff rather than just have a conversation with you. For most people, what that means is simple agentic workflows. And what that means is you're basically writing down your process, you're encoding it in software to automate it, and maybe it calls like a chatbot at some point. So one thing we've done with our podcast episodes is for every episode, we have to write show notes. And that involves like pulling out key takeaways, pulling out interesting quotes of stuff that the guest said. And we use a platform called Riverside for recording, and it will do this automatically, but it's only okay at the moment. It doesn't really understand our audience. So we built a workflow where it takes the transcript from the podcast episode, and then we've told it like the sort of things that our audience is interested in. And now it does a much better job of coming up with the show notes automatically. It was just like a boring task. It took like a couple of hours each week before, and now it's like, okay, click, done in a minute, just upload that. So it saved a lot of boring work, and it does a job that is as good as the human did before.
Oh, and in a sense too, you have like a strategy of content creation. So using that podcast, creating show notes, can you also use a podcast to maybe transcribe it with AI?
Oh yeah, yeah. So the transcription is basically it's AI, and I think now like almost everywhere you're recording stuff, there's a transcription feature. Like certainly like a lot of the like you've got Zoom will do automatic transcripts. Podcasts, most of the podcast recording platforms will do automatic transcripts. If it's not built into whatever video recording platform you're doing, there's things like I think what's it called, Firefly, I think it's called, is one of them. There's Otter. There's a few of these transcript bots. So yeah, basically anytime you have speech, it's pretty easy now to turn it into text.
I love that. And so I'm actually curious for myself, for like tech developers, full stack developers, what are some practical ways they can use AI to cut down repetitive work?
Yeah, for tech developers, I mean, so the big thing at the moment for tech people is that AI is getting pretty good at writing code. And so you've got development platforms. So Cursor is maybe the most famous one, but almost every sort of tech platform is where anytime you're writing code, there's going to be some way of getting AI to write it for you. And so, yeah, almost all the sort of technical tasks that are gradually becoming at least possible to partially automate using AI.
I mean, it sounds like there's like a great avenue right now where AI is great at documenting information and helping you to kind of categorize everything and create new content and just really make our roles much more easier in our day to day.
Yeah, so that's the theory. So writing documentation, nobody, well, maybe there's one person who really enjoys it. In general, most people don't like writing documentation. So having that automatically done is brilliant. You just got to make sure that the documentation is correct. So there's often a step involved where, as a human, you have to just like look and see, is this actually correct documentation? Because yeah, all this generative AI, it does make stuff up sometimes. I'm sure you've heard of the problem of hallucination. So yeah, that sometimes happens. You got to make sure that it's accurate.
Absolutely. And then, so in your view, what role does documenting and sharing knowledge play in credibility and authority?
Oh man, yeah. So I mean, like trying to educate people, sharing knowledge is what I do. So obviously I'm a fan, and even before you get into like what are the personal benefits, I mean, just sharing knowledge. That's how we make the world better, right? Is everyone gets a little bit smarter, so it's a wonderful thing. But yeah, I think if you can say smart things in public and other people notice, then that really does establish you as a source of authority. And so that's really going to help your career. It's how you get invited to go and talk on places. It's how you network. It's how you show that you're an expert in something.
And I'm sure it's how you also like build subjects with podcast episodes or like just events maybe like you can put on, or maybe a course that you're creating. Sharing that knowledge would make you a credible person because you're sharing something that you know from your own expertise.
Absolutely. I mean, so course creation is something I've done a lot of and work with other people to create courses. It's a really great way to solidify your own knowledge of something, because quite often I've started teaching something. I'm like, ooh, I don't actually understand this properly myself. I've had to go back and make sure that I really do like understand it well enough to be able to explain it to other people. And then again, you're right. It shows you off as a credible authority on some subject, and it helps the world learn. So it's a win-win-win situation.
I'm curious though, like do you actually create the data courses and the AI courses?
So I used to. So I've created 10 courses myself on Datacamp. I'm in a different, because I'm doing the podcast and the webinars now. It's that was a different job, but yeah, I've created a lot of courses. I also work with external instructors, so creating another 50 or so courses that way, getting other people to share their knowledge.
So how do you partner with AI to develop your courses? I'm sure you don't use AI for research purposes. That comes from your own expertise and perhaps things that you know along in your path. But how do you partner with AI to actually develop these courses? What are some like maybe advice or tips that you could share?
Yeah, so actually, we've been using a lot more AI in recent months. Like it used to be very much, it was all expert driven, but now there are a lot of ways AI can help you to create sort of teaching content. So,
Hmm.
for example, we do competitive research. So just looking at other people's websites, and then AI is really good for summarizing what are your competitors doing, because maybe you can borrow some ideas from them. And then in terms of creating like the structure for each course, we use it to just have a first pass at saying, well, what should this course contain given this target audience, and this is what they know to begin with, and this is where we want them to get to. So as you've got to give it a lot of information to get good results there. So you do need a lot of expert knowledge to get it to create a good outline for a course. But once you do that, it works pretty well. And again, you need a human to check, is this giving sensible answers? So in this case, it's very much a partner rather than the replacement for the human. Like you do need that expert knowledge that you mentioned, but it does save a lot of time. So yeah, you don't want to have to do all the boilerplate. Well, I'm typing out what I want. I've got this learning objective, that learning objective. The fine level details, the AI is very good at taking care of.
I mean, it reminds me of my journey when I was learning with Datacamp with machine learning and then also AI prompt engineering. I was so like baffled at how important this skill was because within my expertise and my speciality, I have knowledge, but now I can go to AI, partner with it, and I now know when AI is actually wrong, which is great. I feel like that's such a successful partnership when it comes to AI when you can see that default of like error, take it out, but then you have the AI skill to prompt it to maybe change or plant in new information so it can give you ultimately the information that you're creating.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's one of the really important things is if you've got those sort of skills, you can do stuff to spot errors, to be able to change errors, like fix them. That's incredibly important. I think one of the sort of most important skills now is just having that sort of cynicism of anything that's created. Like it's always been a stupid idea to just believe what you read online, but yeah, certainly now it's becoming even more important. Yeah, AI will occasionally make up stuff, so you need to be very cynical and you need to be able to spot errors.
So why do you think many professionals struggle to create consistency with their digital presence? Because it sounds like you have such a strong expertise online. And so I would love your insight on why you think professionals struggle.
Oh man, I mean, it's because humans are complex, right? Humans aren't necessarily consistent themselves. Like I have days where I'm feeling witty, I want to make jokes online. I have the days where not so much, and I have a more serious tone. Some days I have ideas bursting out everywhere. Well, I want to post a lot. Other days I'm like, okay, my boss has just dumped a big project on my desk. I'm not going to spend any time on social media. I don't want to talk to anyone. Just want to get my head down. And so I feel like as a human, I'm inconsistent. I have inconsistency of tone and like frequency of posting. And the consistency really, it's more for like the social media algorithms benefit than the creators. So yeah, consistency is hard. I don't have a magic solution to that, except that I have from some of the influencers I've spoken to, what they say is they do once a week. They will come up with all the ideas for things they want to post, like for the next week, and they batch it up. They record everything like on a Monday, and then they're posting date, just like scheduled posts. So you can smooth out the inconsistency a bit with scheduling. If you're having a day where you're coming up with lots of ideas, it's like, okay, write down all your ideas now and maybe save a few of them for
Yeah.
like the next day when you don't have so many ideas.
I can definitely resonate with being like just up and down with my days on posting. So that strategy actually does work. But then I found a little hack. I found that when I am inspired, I'll sit down, I'll do the processes, I'll create my content. I'll even automate it because LinkedIn actually can automate 3 months of content. People don't know this, but you can literally sit down for like a weekend or two and automate 3 months of content. So I love that feature. But then what I also make room for is those days I do feel inspired, that I do want to like maybe tell a joke or share what I'm eating or share like a lesson I learned in that day after I did a workshop. It's like you want to partner with automation like effectively, but I find the consistency is more so in the balance of being human and then letting the computer do its thing.
Absolutely. No, that's a brilliant hack. I'm probably going to steal that from you and make use of it.
Yeah, you should. It's literally it's literally gold. It's literally gold. That's the one thing that I keep my consistency online because I understand the algorithm's always moving. There's always seeds being planted in it. So you have to like have, a presence. You have to show up. You have to be consistent. So I'll be generous and maybe I'll like post every day for 1 week, but then the next week I'll post every other day if I know, oh, I have a workshop coming up or I have a podcast that I'm gonna do. And I'll leave that space for room to like upload a quick picture because authenticity online, especially with humans interacting with it, like we love to see a great selfie. We love to see like lunch sometimes, apart from the carousels and the white papers and the blah blah blah. Like we want to still be, enthused.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. It's a surprising amount of like lunch shots, even on like professional sites like LinkedIn or whatever. You think, okay, it should be like that's more of an Instagram thing, but actually, yeah, even on LinkedIn, maybe people want to see someone's lunch.
100. I am that girl. I bring a lot of Instagram personality to my LinkedIn because at the end of the day, we are humans first in an organization, and so I love to just make everything relatable, make things human again, because we do get caught up in the automation, the consistency, the scheduling, like. But like you said, we have to make space for the days where we're like, I don't want to talk about what I'm known for, or I don't feel like it today. Like that's okay.
Absolutely.
I think so. Also, if you had to pick a skill, one or two that will always be valuable, even as AI tech evolves, which one would you bet on?
Oh man. Okay, so tech skills go out of date quicker, so it's the soft skills that are the ones that last a long time. Soft skills, of course, it's an ironic name. The soft skills are the hardest ones to learn, but it's communication skills, it's ownership, and the other is like things like project management, like just being able to complete tasks in the right order on time. It's a really amazing skill that will serve you in whatever job you do.
I'm so happy you said that because I have been learning this throughout my years of life that management is the key to everything. Management is everywhere in every industry, finance management, creative management, tech, everything. Like if you don't have those soft skills, it's extremely going to like put you back a decade. That's how I'm seeing like when I go into organizations and I'm noticing, oh wow, they actually don't know how to manage like themselves, their life, their decisions, and then it kind of trickles into everything else in their life.
Absolutely. I mean, it's quite fun being a ball of chaos, but like at work, you need a little bit more order sometimes.
That's a great mindset. I love that. So from your conversations with experts, what's one mindset that separates those who adapt quickly from those who get left behind?
Okay, so yeah, I think one thing is being comfortable with chaos because when the world is moving quickly, it's like, and even when it isn't, I mean, there's so many times at work where I've been given a project to do, and I'm like, I have not a single clue how to even approach this. But being comfortable with like not knowing how to do stuff, and that you can learn and find out and solve the problem, complete your task. It takes a bit of an ego to do that, but the more you practice doing it, the more you get comfortable with it, and that's going to serve you very well in your career.
And that's ultimately what we want to do. We want to like make sure that we're safe in the future. There's so much change going on. If you were designing your own future-proof strategy today, what are the 3 elements would be a non-negotiable?
Oh man. So future proof strategy, I mean, it's very difficult to predict, right? But I think certainly like being able to make use of data in a simple sort of way, at least being able to know how to use data in order to help you make decisions. That's going to make you have more good decisions throughout your life. And so that's a really important life skill, even beyond your career. I think, yeah, increasingly AI literacy is also important, because whatever you whatever you're doing in your career, you're going to have to make use of AI at some point. So just having that basic understanding of what can I do with this, what can I not do with this, how do I get started, that's going to be really important. So yeah, obviously I'm a big fan of data skills and AI skills, but I think these are very important for absolutely everyone.
Yeah, non-negotiable. I think I agree with you. I think AI literacy, I think learning how to use data, having that awareness of where it belongs and where it doesn't, I think that's a huge non-negotiable for the future, because AI is everywhere. We're gonna have to learn how to use it. And it's like, I like to make a joke. It's like you don't want to be like the aunties that didn't learn how to use a computer back when the computer evolved, right? I have family members that literally cannot turn a computer on till this day. So
Yeah, same.
so I do not want to be like those people. I want to be, you know, active. I want to be autonomous. And so I would love to play with like the idea of like what the future looks like digitally. Right now we're online, we're talking on a computer. How do you feel like navigating the digital realm is going to look like?
Oh yeah. So I think the big thing is like deepfakes are starting to become a lot more plausible. Like even with myself. So recently, I cloned my own voice using 11 Labs AI, and it's brilliant because now whenever like the marketing team gives me like requests to do a voiceover, I'd be like, just give me the script. If I sign off on it, you can clone my voice, and I don't have to do that task anymore. So that's very cool. Makes me slightly famous without having to do any work. I guess like Robot Richie is going to be more famous than real Richie soon. But yeah, that's brilliant. And I think this is the future, is that we're going to have a lot more interactions with AI versions of people we know. At the moment, it's fairly unusual, but I think this is going to be standard in a couple of years' time. And at the moment, it's voice. But yeah, it's probably going to be video soon as well.
Wow, I see video coming along very prominently in my area, because when people want to create content but they don't have the time, they're leaning on these like AI generated videos where you put your face up and maybe you say a few words so it can get, you know, your facial recognition patterns, and then bam, it just creates a video. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is incredibly crazy. I think for now, like with the use of video, just having a real version of yourself, it doesn't work that well. But if you want to make use of like an AI generated version of you in video, then having like a different style, like a cartoon style version of yourself. I think we've been playing about like puppet version of Richie, which works quite well. Like something that where people don't mind the fact that it doesn't look quite right yet.
Mhm.
That works pretty well this year. So, like in a year or two, we'll probably have like real versions of ourselves, and it looks fine. But for now, make it look a bit silly, and you can get away with
Yeah.
more.
I think that's okay though. I like the fact that like AI is not that advanced yet, because you can tell when it's AI generated, and it gives you the peace of mind to choose to continue watching it and knowing that it's AI, or choose to not, because then you can have your critical thinking radar on, especially when it comes to like ads. I see a lot of ads that are AI generated and they're talking like they're a doctor, And so that kind of like spreads a little bit of false information, false like hopes about maybe the product that they're selling. So it's great to be aware of how AI looks like, how fast it's developing, so we can still make our choice from an authentic place, from our values, from our perspective, and from ultimately the outcomes we want to create in our life.
I'm right there with you. Like once AI gets very difficult to detect or impossible to detect, then that's where things start to get a bit terrifying. Because there are so many people who want to sell you things which are nonsense, or they want to persuade you of something which is maybe against your best interest. And so again, we're back to having a bit of cynicism and critical thinking. These are incredibly valuable skills right now.
So I have this what is this? I have this idea of getting in the algorithm, because the algorithm, it sounds like this big vast pool of like ocean, right? And so as a business or as a professional, as someone who's building their reputation online, do you think that it is smart right now that we develop, like we plant seeds in the algorithm through content creation, through video, articles, podcasts, like in that way? Or is there another way that we're missing that we probably didn't think of that we should start using more?
No, I mean, I think all the things you talked about there, the right way to get this sort of recognition over a longer sort of sense of time. So traditionally, it's been like you need to write text, so tutorials, blog posts, whatever, just to get into Google search algorithms, like you're doing search engine optimization. The tricky part is that Google is losing market share, because now a lot of people just use chatbots instead, so they're using their ChatGPT, Claude, whatever, and so to protect against that, you need to have video content, because that's got a little bit of resistance against just being scraped by OpenAI and Anthropic and ending up in there. So yeah, video is a good way to preserve like your fame for a little bit longer.
So it sounds like Google like isn't going to be a thing anymore. Like, oh, I'm on first page on Google. What does that next thing look like then?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think Google's going away anytime soon, but it's not being like everyone uses Google all the time. So it's going to be slightly less popular. I don't think it's going to go away. And as to what's next, I think, well, yeah, it's people chatting with either with your AI chatbots. I don't know what the future is, but it's probably a trillion idea if I can think of it.
Right. I mean, so my strategy, like right now that I've been using, is to also use like no code automation tools like Zapier to kind of make the content workflow a bit easier to just create, making a video into an article. And then when an interaction comes in, say, for example, on like Instagram, you can like comment something and then you can send out like a lead magnet to them or a product in their DM. I find that like partnering with apps can be a little hack right now, because don't aren't these apps also attached to AI and the algorithm as well, with like understanding like who people are in the context?
Oh man, like who has which data on what part of you? Very difficult to track, because a lot of it sort of silent deals in the background. Who's sharing data between which apps? But you're right that making use of Zapier and other tools like this. So the Zapier makes another one that's sort of similar to that. You've got a few more modern sort of AI focused ones. So there's N8N, AirOps. There's tons of these things. But yeah, these are all brilliant tools for automating work, for getting rid of these boring, repetitive workflows. Definitely worth making use of.
That's exciting. Okay, and then I want to have one last question for you, out of the box. How do you see the internet in the next 10 years? What does that look like?
Oh man, that's a big question to finish on. Okay, what's happening with the internet in the next 10 years? So I don't think there's many wild changes, except there's gonna be a lot more like less text, more video, more audio, more images. I think that's been a trend we've seen over the last decade or more. And so yeah, I think that's going to continue even further. And I'm hoping we can have like a lot more like AI. I'm hoping AI agents are going to start getting good enough that they're going to be everywhere. We're going to see a lot more kind of automated, interactive content, software that's easier to use, and things happening for you automatically, so I can spend more time on the beach and less time clicking on bits of software.
I mean, that's the goal, using AI to, unplug from the physical workload and sitting on a beach and enjoying life.
Yeah, well, I have to say I've been trying that for 20 years, like using software to automate my life, and yeah, it's not working yet. There's always more work to do, unfortunately.
Oh my goodness! So you're saying it's like a new loop we have to learn how to get out of?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Well, that's something that we should definitely consider start looking into. But thank you so much for sharing your knowledge, for sharing your perspective. I greatly appreciate that. Ultimately, everything that you're doing with international like AI literacy, with data literacy, I'm like so in tuned with everything that you are in, and I would love to know more. So feel free to reach out if you ever have any courses coming out and you need someone to just do it for fun. I am your girl. And before we go, is there anything else you would love to share with anyone who's watching in the audience when it comes to Datacamp, when it comes to your own profession?
So the big thing we've got coming up with Datacamp is that all September we've got Data and AI Literacy Month. So it's a series of 13 webinars. It's all about data and AI for people who don't have data or AI in their job title. So you can register for those for free. Datacamp.com/ I think Data Literacy Month. I can't remember the exact URL. If you go to Datacamp, you should be able to find it.
It was really easy. When I went to Datacamp last year this time for that week, it was just flashing everywhere. You guys make it very known.
There should be some banners there on top of the site, yeah.
I love it. Okay, thank you so much for your time, and you take care, and we'll talk again soon.
Wonderful. I really enjoyed this conversation. Thank you for inviting me.